Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now, this is a general Gods at Play reading for the full moon. I've already done oracle card readings for each individual sign. Link down below to the playlist, obviously. I'm going to say link down below a few times here. So, what's your sun, your moon, your rising? Now, these Gods at Play readings, if you've seen them before, by their very, very nature, they are dramatic. They are looking at the masks that the archons are wearing to keep you separate from your divine purpose, and the gods that are working with you and that are on your side, trying to lift you up and reconnect you with your higher self, God, the divine, however you want to look at it. And because of the cards that I use, a selection of oracle decks, they are by their very nature dramatic, which makes them so much fun. But it is a general reading. So, and it's not even necessarily a reading where it's describing what's going on for you right now. It is a look at energies that can be around you, and it's something to file away and enjoy. And you may see situations that you're going through already in the reading, or you may not. And if you don't, go and watch your moon, go and watch your rising. In fact, always watch your rising. If you've got a choice, watch your rising. Now, it is an eclipse, so I suppose your sun and your moon are quite important on this one as well. But don't give away your power. Don't depend on what any YouTube tarot reader says. These readings are officially for entertainment purposes only. But more to the point, it is a form of entertainment because it's there for confirmation. You should be able to hear things that activate your confirmation bias, or basically just go, yeah, I know what that's on about. Now, also down there is a link to the show that I did with astrologer David Fisher, looking at the astrology of the full moon, super moon, blood moon, flower moon. Yes, power moon. No, flower moon. Total lunar eclipse. So as you can imagine, it's a bit of an event. We're in eclipse season now. These next 2 weeks between the lunar and the solar eclipses are considered to be a portal in and of themselves. I know this lunar eclipse is considered to be really good for opening portals for other realms. I will say, yes, now I wrote this down somewhere. If you have any Virgo in your chart, watch the Virgo reading, which is the second half. Timestamp down below as ever, because I'm going to waffle about the moon a little bit first and then get to the reading by jumping ahead to the timestamp. But please listen to my waffle at least once, because I think you might find something of value, hopefully. But if you have any Virgo in your chart, go and watch the Virgo reading. And if you are a Pisces sun, go and watch the Virgo reading. Because if you think about it, Pisces sun means Earth in Virgo. And it's a doozy, but that Pisces Virgo axis, because I've just literally done the Pisces reading, and to be quite honest, that was a doozy as well. So if you've got anything on that Pisces Virgo axis, go and watch both of them, to be quite honest. Right, so with this reading, you can ask a question beforehand. It's not one where I guarantee that you'll be able to tell if there's an answer or not. It's not like the monthlies or my sun with moon rising combination readings, where you can either tell, yeah, this is for me, this isn't for me. So it's I don't like saying take what resonates, because it just sounds so formulaic. But if the whole thing resonates, take it. And if the whole thing doesn't resonate, don't take it. I'm much more a fan of having the whole reading or not little bits. Now, obviously, I'm a YouTube channel. I'm personally a YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow the channel, so I will be very grateful if you would like the video once you've had your reading, give me a good judgment that way. But don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do, because it really will help me grow the channel, because I leave my subscriber number public while it's so absolutely and utterly pathetic. So I'm still looking for that magic 1,000. So all helped, gratefully appreciated, and thank you so much to everyone who has. Now there's also a link down there for the Facebook page for this channel, because I don't trust YouTube notifications, but more importantly, I also post on there a lot of the astrology weather report videos that I collect from YouTube. So I try to make it a bit of a one-stop shop. And also it's got its own inbox. So if you want to contact me for a personal reading, that Facebook page is the best way to do it. There is a link tree down there that'll take you to my Twitter and to my email and what have you. But trust me, Facebook's the best way to, as probably awful that is to say. Right, that was 5 minutes waffle already, and I haven't even got into the moon. So, in the Oracle card readings, I focused on the South Node. Now, what I want to focus on here is not even so much the lunar eclipse and the symbols of the lunar eclipse itself, apart from the inside degree or Chandra symbol for the 5-degree Sagittarius, where the eclipse is. I love this image. Also, being a Wonder Woman fan helps. A pair of shoes with wings on them. So basically, there's a blessing of Hermes. There is Hermes sandals. But what I want to focus on is Jupiter, because Jupiter is square to this eclipse and ruling this eclipse. Jupiter is at home in Pisces, obviously. It is dignified in Pisces, if you want to say it that way. It is also at home in Sagittarius. Now, I think that there's an extra whammy going on with Pisces. I've spoke about Neptune conjunct Pallas conjunct Orpheus in the Oracle card videos, playlist down below. But Neptune is, if you look at Neptune as the modern ruler, that's energizing Pisces and anything that's in it. You look at Jupiter as the traditional ruler, which I prefer traditional rulerships, it's energizing everything else in Pisces. The two rulers together cannot be a bad thing. Speaking as a Pisces, yes, things will get misty, and yes, things will get cosmic, and yes, things will get really, and this is quite a statement probably for all of Jupiter in Pisces this year and next year. But don't forget, we're going to get reined in by Saturn in a month or so's time as Jupiter goes retrograde. But moving on, the angel ruling Jupiter is Yelahia at 1 degree Pisces. It's actually 1 degree 11 minutes. So I looked up the angel number for that, which says very much it's about manifestation, prosperity, awareness, uniqueness, motivation, and independence. But basically, monitor your thoughts and stay focused. And that focus is a really, really important point. In the Pisces reading that I just finished, it's like your focus needs to be zeroing in and zeroing in and zeroing in. And I wish I'd thought of that image when I was doing the reading, because that's exactly what I was trying to say. But Yelahia, sorry, the angel number 111 is all about monitor your thoughts because you're going to manifest. Jupiter brings abundance. Now, Yelahia is all about sweetening judgment and is a karmic warrior, whatever that happens to mean. And I'm not even going to touch that phrase with the barge pole, because I think I know, but I think the understanding of that term is different for every single person. Because karma is different for every single person. But I like that sweetening judgment aspect. However, it's an eclipse, and as David pointed out to me, certainly in terms of, I think he was looking at the Indian astrology in the terms of the dragon Rahu and Ketu, or parts of the dragon Rahu and Ketu. He was saying that the eclipse is where the light is removed and so the demonic influence comes in. Now, the demonic influence, this decan is ruled by day by Furfa, Goetic spirit Furfa, or Furta, and by night, Seer. Now, Seer, or Seer, is his natural planet is Jupiter. So the fact that Jupiter in Pisces, in Seer's decan, gives that Jupiter expansiveness extra whammy for me. But it's given extra whammy to that Pisces energy. But let's have a look what Seer is about. Now, I would imagine around the eclipse is a great time, if you're into Goetic evocation, to evoke Seer. But I would cast some divination first, and I'm still apprehensive about doing any hocus pocus during the 14 minutes of the total eclipse. Wait till the sunlight has returned to the moon. And if you're wanting to contact Seer, I would imagine in that 14 minutes, although he is a timeless entity and lives in a realm beyond time, but you know, this time here, so he's going to likely be busy being during those 14 minutes, and therefore after the 14 minutes been in a really good mood. So Seer is actually quite a benevolent entity. Seer is known to increase the longevity of the witch, so that's really quite useful. Certainly when your days are getting on a bit. And he is apt for chakra work, specifically the second chakra, the soul star and the earth star chakra. So literally that he is an embodiment of working with the as above so below, and or the grounding yourself and bringing down white light, if you know the technique from that name. But most traditions have a version of linking yourself to Gaia and then bringing the energy down from the cosmos. Seer engenders the quick occurrence of things and catalyzes stagnated affairs with movement. He enacts the revelation of whatever persons in your life essay to keep you unaware of. So he reveals secrets. He presides over sorcery and brings about the fulfillment and gnosis of the will. So there's an understanding of self there, and there's an understanding of divine self there, or of just the divine. But the next bit is what I've highlighted. The traditional delineation of Seer is as follows, and I love this. His office is to go and come, and to bring abundance of things to pass all of a sudden, and to carry or recarry anything wherever you would have it go or where you would have it from. He can pass over the entire earth in the twinkling of a single eye. He gives a true relation of all sorts of theft and of hidden treasure and of other things. He is of an indifferent good nature and willing to do anything that the summoner requires. And then it talks about how he will help the witch contact higher spheres of light, and you've got to remember that a lot of these Goetic spirits that Solomon worked with have angelic origins. So, you know, they know what they're on about. Now, the actual degree, angel of the eclipse degree, is about building bridges, fertility, multiplicity, defeats, this Amael, defeats frustration, despair and depression, but obviously not in that 14 minutes. That's where I would imagine they could rear their head. And then it's up to you to defeat frustration, despair and depression for those 14 minutes. But the minute that light returns, Amael will be there assisting you with that. And there's a huge amount of self-determination I'm seeing about this lunar eclipse. I am actually really, really excited for this lunar eclipse. When I was starting the astrology, I was a bit like, oh God, eclipses, they're all going to be scary. You know, they're as scary as comets. But there's so much that can be drawn, I think, from this eclipse, or that can be opened. There is a wonderful sense of potential. And if this is the start of this 2-week portal, it is something to be celebrated, it is something to be experienced, and it is something to spiritually grab with both hands, in whatever way, shape, or form that may mean, because grabbing may be the wrong term. Because the other thing about this 1 degrees Pisces, there was a writer called Franz Baden who did evocations of what he called the degree heads of every degree of the zodiac. Now, 1 degree Pisces is ruled by Shad, who, among other things, inspires technical inventions. So there's this huge problem solving. He will, if you've got a little bit of genius in you, Shad will go, see that genius you've got there? Here, have that, see how you get on with it. Giving that inspiration. And there's power here, the Omega symbol. And if anybody knows where the Omega symbols are from, please do tell me. I've got this list of Omega symbols and I've no idea where they've come from. But this I really like. The Omega symbol for 1 degree Pisces. Remember, this is Jupiter ruling the eclipse, not the eclipse. From deep in the earth, the sound of a waterfall. Now, within that, we've got that sense of building of power, building of potentiality. We've got the idea of the underground stream, that magical current that runs through the earth that magicians and energy workers can tap into, the dragon lines, the ley lines, however you want to say it, with that cleansing sense of water, the waterfall. There's not much more for me. I mean, I've got loads of notes here, but they're all pretty much saying the same thing. This lunar eclipse is a doozy. Take advantage, take precautions. You know, don't do your hocus pocus during the 14 minutes of total blackout, but take advantage, meditate, sing, dance, do whatever feels right for you that gets your energies tingling, not just your fingers, but the air around your fingers, not just your spine, but the whole air around you. When the air that is around you is part of your sensory input, then yeah, you're well on the way. And with that, let me bring up the cards. Okay, Aries, as you know, the top row represents the masks the archons wear as they try to deceive you and keep you suppressed, oppressed, and separate from your own personal divinity. And the bottom row represents the gods who are trying to lift you up. And it's curious, so I've literally just filmed the oracle card reading for the eclipse, and it was talking about how you needed to dive in for your healing. However, I did warn that there was a trap. What I was saying in that reading was that you go into that ocean of emotion card, go into the ocean of emotion and treat every emotion as you would in the litany against fear. If you're not a Dune fan, then I allow the fear to pass over me and through me, and once the fear has gone, only I remain. And I suggested take that approach to all of your emotions, dive into them, have a look at them, let them be recognized, thank them for being them, and then let them go, dismiss. And that was as much of the healing that I was recommending. I did say, don't go into like a heavy person-centered counseling session or Jungian therapy or something like that. Just spend a little bit of time with each emotion, recognize it, release it. Because there's a trap. As much as it's therapeutic, there is a trap in this. And the archons being here, wearing the mask of Brigid, representing healing, just goes to show. Now, the whole idea was in the previous reading that you needed to do this procedure to prepare yourself for what was coming next. And there is a wonderful creative time coming next, as represented by Nyx here. But here, she also represents here respite. So what I'm rather feeling is that there is a change coming, and there's definitely a change coming from the other reading, but there's a change coming and you need to be well rested in order to face it. So yeah, dive into those emotions, recognize them, release them, thank them for being them, send them on their merry way. But don't get stuck in that. However, do not, with the Harai here being one of the archontic masks, there's a pressure. This is almost like the archons are saying, oh yeah, take Dee's advice from the last reading and then keep doing it and keep doing it. And I was like, no, do it, let it go, move on. Because we have the Harai with time and Orpheus here representing music, but also that dive into the underworld. So if you spend too much time in the underworld, as I no doubt mentioned in the introduction to this one, which I haven't filmed yet, or I mentioned in the introduction to the other one, Neptune conjunct Pallas conjunct Orpheus. We have the opportunity to wisely dive into the underworld. But if you think about a diver off a high diving board, they dive in, they go under the water, and then they come back up again for air. And that's the important thing. You must come back up again for air. Do not take refuge, and this is what Hecate is saying here with protection, or rather an archon dressed as Hecate is saying that there's a safety and a sanctuary in that sort of delving into the emotions. You can get carried away with it. Think about the illusions of Neptune that people talk about. No, you're doing it so you can go and have some fun. And that's why you have the graces. So the gods on your side here. We start with Vishnu with balance. Now, I think I've just explained that. Yeah, do that healing thing, but don't spend too long on it. Because there's more to life than just diving into your own underworld. As healthy as that can be for short periods of time. Persephone, queen of the underworld, with awakening, working on your journey into the underworld and then coming out again. Because if you remember, she spends 6 months in the underworld, 6 months on Earth. So there is that reminder of, yeah, dive in, do it, and dive back out again. Pomona with plenty. There is resources abound around you, especially with that new change coming in that I saw in the other reading. Should be really, really useful for you. We've spoken about the graces and we've spoken about Nyx. So, interestingly, as I've said, this eclipse is happening in your 9th house. And the archons are all about travel here at the start. We have Garuda with travel and Odysseus with the journey. And I think it may be just a little unfair to expect yourself under COVID. I know places are opening up, but we've got new variants coming out. What's supposed to be open next week may get closed again a week after, so travel is not easy unless you're talking about soul travel at the moment, or astral travel, or travel of the mind, even if it's just watching a National Geographic documentary, But here, the archons are using that sense of travel and that sense of journey against you. Almost like you are led to defend. Yes, you are led to defend plans to go somewhere. But you are going to be facing delays and frustration through those delays. but also confusion. There's almost a sense of, am I on a journey and am I actually going anywhere? Yes and no. And the reason that I say no is you're on a personal, metaphorical journey. Absolutely. Of course we are, every day of our lives. But a physical journey right now? Nah, maybe. Maybe not. You can expect some delays if it's a maybe yes. We have, yes, that judgment card with Bridget, with healing, that sense of there is a transformation on offer. But again, I don't feel that that transformation is something that you should be working towards. It's something that you should allow, and do not be chained by some sense of deadline, by some sense of, oh, got to explore all the underworld. No, no, there's always plenty of underworld. It's not going anywhere. There's there was, dive in, see what it's got to tell you this time, come straight back up for air. Now we've got the Devil card with the Horion Orpheus, and that's why I was saying that sense of restriction and maybe of taking actions where you don't need to, you know, that sort of, I have to build to deal with this. But if you are building on foundations based on what you're learning out of the underworld, not relevant for the physical 3D world. It's relevant in the underworld. It's relevant in your subconscious or unconscious. It's not so relevant here. Which is also why you need to just be aware of where that underworld stuff can be defining your actions. What we got with Hecate, we have the Chariot. So again, another travel card saying, oh, now this is interesting, isn't it? So we've got Hecate representing protection with the Chariot, but Hecate as an archon, not as Hecate. Assuming that well, I'm going to say it because it's what I've got, but bear in mind this is entertainment purposes only. Assuming that a journey will be safe when it isn't. There's an interesting one. But like I say, with Garuda travel, Odysseus the journey, we've got the Chariot here. It's the metaphorical journey you want to be looking for and being on, I think. So we have, with Vishnu, Seven of Swords, implying that sense of just have a little bit of structure with your approach and ensure that you are programming in or scheduling in some form of balance. So if you're going to do loads of hard, deep soul work, then go for a picnic and have a laugh with some friends in the open air. You know, so just to balance the two, because there's, as I say, there's more to life than the underworld. So we have Temperance with Persephone, which is pretty much saying exactly the same thing, so I'm not going to concentrate on that one. So King of Wands with, right. Now, I was wondering where Pomona was fitting in here, but with the King of Wands, there's this sense of manifestation, taking action at the right time, coming in with having the resources to do it. That King of Wands feels very, and it's got a Pisces symbol right on the bottom of it. I could have sworn King of Wands is supposed to be Aries, but no, if you have a look, maybe you have your Pisces King of Wands coming in. Bear in mind, King of Wands can be either gender. You know, King of Wands is my favourite card, and so I'm quite chuffed to see a Pisces on the bottom of that. So, yay! But that King of Wands taking action where needed, but also notice that this guy's seated. He's not taking a lot of action right now. He'll do it when he needs to. But it really does give that sense of a manifestation that is building. He hasn't been able to now go sit down while what he has started is blooming, taking fruit, growing, however you want to look at it. So this card wants to come out, and we have, with the Graces, we've got Six of Wands. Right. As much as I'm saying don't go anywhere, it looks like some social contact will be a good thing for you. So get out into the open air. I mean, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's turning into summer. Well, apart from here in Britain, I think we had summer in March and it's been and gone. But in the rest of the world, it's turning into summer. Well, rest of the world, Northern Hemisphere, rest of the world. Four of Wands with Nyx. As I said, Nyx represents that creative void before the universe, but here she's also representing respite. There is make a commitment to that scheduling in of balance of heavy soul work, fun. You know, there's the heavy soul work that we've been talking about, that ocean of emotion. It might be fun, probably won't be. So you need something to balance it. A little bit of silliness, a little bit of levity. Now we have, it's that one I always struggle with pronouncing, IEILL, with mental force here from the Oracle of Heaven and Hell. And what I consider to be your card, Aries, being the first sign of the Zodiac, the guardian angel of youth. As I share my enthusiasm, humour and sense of fun, I protect, bit my cheek. I protect and honour my youthful spirit. Your card, definitely. And there has to be, if you get trapped in this underworld, then you are not protecting and honouring your youthful spirit at all. But this IL is telling me that you have the ability to, yes, dive into the underworld as the previous reading suggested, but also come back out again as this reading is suggesting. Make it, you define the rules of your journey. Not no archons, not even the gods. You define it, but the gods are supporting you here. Very much to do the work and have some fun. So that basically is just sound advice for life. But this is what I'm seeing for the lunar eclipse. But let's have a look at this devil card. I always like to okay. And we've got the Page of Wands. So beware of messages that are coming in that will help you sink back into that underworld. And also I want to say, make sure you are seen. This is Page of Wands, in this deck represented by the Goetic spirit Balaam. Gives answers concerning the past, present and future and can make one invisible. And I do rather think that there is a danger with being invisible on this. So normally it's not hard, Aries, to get you to go and socialise. So do the work, then go and socialise. And that will allow, I think, the opportunity for this new influence that's not even necessarily seen here, apart from Pomona and the King of Wands, that the other reading suggests is going to come in and really change your mindset, really change your own personal paradigm. Might be too strong even saying changing your mindset. It could easily be changing your circumstances, but bringing that joyous new influence into your life. With the High and Orpheus here, that's something that can be missed, and that is something that you need to make sure that you do not miss. Okay, well, if that means anything to you, which it probably won't do because it's looking more predictive than descriptive, to be quite honest. But get yourself ready for that new influence coming into your life, whatever it is. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's a relationship with a big R. It could be just someone with an irrepressible sense of fun and a lot of insight, a lot of lightning sharp observations about the worlds around you, which you can learn from. Okay, see you later.